Hey everyone, I'm sorry there's not a fun intro and there's not a lot of fun things. I just wanted to make this post really quick while I'm thinking about this. I look like crap. I'm in a t-shirt, there's nothing set up. I'm sorry the lighting's not any better. But I wanted to just talk really quick and get things off my chest. I have so much to do. I'm getting ready for the Badass Cat Conference and getting all those things done. I have my Grow Wealthy Grooming live going for my membership, and I've got some coaching calls today, and somehow I'm also going to get my nails done today. So I got a plan. But I wanted to talk to today really quickly was all about a post that was made by someone I consider one of my heroes, and because of that made it really, I don't explain it other than I'm a little broken inside, and I know it wasn't their intent. So guys, here is the post. It is from the amazing Stu McLaren, and he said, "The moment that when your hairdresser didn't quite understand what you meant by a little off the top." Now, as you guys can see on the left, the before picture is a doodle, and on the right is a very naked doodle. As a grooming professional, as somebody who has been in this industry over 10 years, probably closer to 15 or 20. I try not at this point to age myself because everyone thinks I'm 25, and I like that. I like when people say, like, "Oh, you look 25. I'm like, "Thank you." So that said, I wanted to talk about the problems with this, because I think that if you're in the grooming industry, maybe you know, but this might be a great video for you to go ahead and share. Now, the problem with that post is that it's insinuating that the groomer did something wrong. Now, I know by looking at this post that this is a joke. I know this is a joke because I don't think for a second that Stu McLaren is trying to be rude. I think he's trying to make a joke. The problem is that when you're making a joke, it should be about you. So a joke would be about something ambiguous or about you. So I might be like, "Hey guys," I'm bad at jokes off the cuff. I'm like, "Hey guys, I tripped on something and I landed in an ice cream cone." Something silly. And I laughed at myself. You're laughing at yourself. When you're laughing at somebody else's profession or another professional, or you're basically taking, you're blaming them for something that's out of their control, that's not a joke. That would be like me going to my mechanic and showing a sizzling engine or, my car, all done up and saying, "I just wanted an oil change." That's not a joke. That's you didn't take care of an item, and then you're blaming the professional who had to fix it for the lack of care. Now, I don't think that people that don't brush their dogs, if somebody owns a standard poodle and really doesn't like to brush their dog, I don't blame people who don't want to brush their dog. But if my standard poodle gets 10 strip from nose to tail, that's because I didn't brush my dog. And I don't think that pet owners should have to learn to brush their dog. But they do either have to come in more often, and because of COVID, they couldn't come in more often. So they have to accept the consequences of being shaved. Now, I have nothing but love for Stu. Like, some of my favorite photos, like, I know it sounds really dorky, but like literally on my dating profile, I have a picture of Stu, and you can't see Stu. But like, I love it because if you're like, "Oh my God, like I love going to seminars." Like, this picture is adorable. Like, I look adorable in this picture. I'm hugging my hero, Stu McLaren. We have this great picture where we do what we call the Stu face, which is this really silly, fun thing. So this is somebody I really honor and I respect. But then when I look at a post like this, I see someone I respect who is unintentionally disrespecting my industry. And I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to feel about that. The way I want to feel is just let it roll off my back and laugh. But then what happens is that I'm going to go into the comment section of his post. And when I read them, that's when I have to get potentially defensive for my industry. Let me really quickly, if I can, do this really quick. Again, I should have had this better, but I really wasn't prepared. This was such a quick thing, and things were happening. So basically, a lot of the comments from customers are asking for this groomer to be fired. I mean, who would fire somebody? Like, if you look at this haircut on the right, it's not a bad haircut. It's not what they wanted, but it's not a bad haircut at all. And then when I zoom in to the dog on the left, you can see the matting in the bridge of the nose, in the muzzle. There are videos of them walking with their children. The dog is obviously visibly matted. Now, I can't say what the dog looked like when they walked in, but what I can say, it's very common for this breed of dog to be matted. This hair is very long. I can't even keep my own standard poodle this long, and I'm a professional. So I don't expect a client to know how to achieve this look. The problem with these kinds of posts that are making fun of the grooming industry is that it creates a problem in our industry where now people are saying we should be fired, we should be called on the Humane Society, that we're lazy, all of these negative connotations, and it's not fair. I don't think my mechanic is lazy if they have to change an engine when I come in for an oil change, but I've had an oil change done in 30,000 miles. I don't expect my mechanic to do that. You know, you don't come in with cancer asking for something simple. Like if I went into the doctor and I was riddled with cancer and I said, no, I'm just here for, a strep test. They're going to take care of everything. They're going to take care of you. It's our job as a pet professional to take care of your pet. Now, there are groomers who are more heavy on dematting. I have mixed feelings. I have a personal superpower. I can demat anything. That said, it is more energy on my body, which for those of you guys that aren't groomers, I'm an organic machine. I am in my 30s and I have carpal tunnel in both my hands. I have back problems. I have shoulder problems. My body is destroyed. In our industry, we destroy our body. We are literally holding vibrating cutting edges and doing this all day. It is so bad for our shoulders. And when we brush, we have to hold our arm up and do this. Do you guys not, if you do that, imagine just if you're not a groomer doing that for 10 minutes. And 10 minutes is the average, 10 to 15 minutes is an average dog. A matted dog will take a minimum of about an hour to demat. Minimum. Some of them will take 3 or 4 hours. I have dematted entire standard poodles and it will take me sometimes 6 hours. I won't personally do that anymore. I think it's bad for the dog. I think it's bad for the groomer. And what happens is if you brushed out dreadlocks, that hair is damaged. That hair is damaged. And now you have damaged hair on a dog that's going to be running through sticks and leaves. And again, you're putting it in an owner's hand who doesn't know how to maintain the hair when it's in good health, never mind when it's over processed. So we're, as a groomer, the best thing for all, the highest good is to shave them. And if you're a groomer who doesn't believe that, you're more than welcome to disagree with me. And I think that's what's beautiful. And I think if you are an owner who doesn't believe that, you need to go to a groomer who's willing to do that. But just make sure that they honestly have the highest good in mind for your pet. Because a lot of people will just, and I don't ever call people greedy. I'm all about making a living. But I do think sometimes some people, I will never do something that visibly harms an animal for a prolonged period of time. I will pluck ears and it takes 5 seconds. I will not sit there and rip hair out of a dog's body for 3 or 4 hours. I think that is animal cruelty. But that said, that is my personal opinion. And I don't blame a groomer who chooses to do that and has the technique to do that. But I just think that I think it's personally wrong. That's what I think. Now, you can disagree. But as a consumer, you have to understand when your dog is shaved from nose to tail, guess what? The groomers don't want to do that. I like a dog short. I don't want a dog bald. There's nothing cute about a bald dog. Now, it is cute. Your dog's super cute. He's super cute naked. That said, it's really not fair to blame the groomer. Had this caption been, so let's pull that up again. This would have been a really fun picture if it had read, you can read the same thing. That moment hairdresser quite understand when you said a little off the top, ha ha ha, should have brushed my dog. Or even just, oh man, this is what it looks like when you don't brush your dog. Or, oh boy, that COVID makeover or something like that. But instead, by insinuating that it's the groomer who misunderstood you, that's the problem. The problem with this post is not that it's a joke. The problem is that you're insinuating the groomer did something wrong, that they misunderstood you. It's not their fault your dog was matted. And it's really not nice to poke fun at a professional. You know, when you poke fun at people that can't defend themselves, it's bullying. And I don't think bullying is funny. And I think that people don't realize how fragile a lot of small grooming businesses are. I do business coaching for a lot of people who, are losing their houses and losing their livelihoods right now because they can't afford to open. There are single moms who are groomers who, if they, got flack like that in their industry, they could be fired. I don't think people realize the damage it can be done. We are in a primarily female industry. We have more female business owners than basically any other industry. And because of that, we take things personally. And I know sometimes we shouldn't. I know sometimes we shouldn't take things personally. But I take this a little personally. And I'm not angry. I'm frustrated. And I'm protective of the people underneath me that can't defend themselves. There's so many small business owners who are hurting, that haven't been able to open. Not only do they have no money from not working, because they didn't get paid when they weren't working, but they also had to pay all the bills in their business. And then all these dogs come back and matted. They should be charging them extra because it's more work on their bodies and their equipment. Because if you're not a groomer, when I shave a matted dog, if you're familiar at all with construction, so a 10 blade is meant to cut hair, okay? It is. It's meant to shave off hair. But you have to understand, that is like a wood blade. If you guys have ever done any construction, I haven't really done construction, but I get the concept. It's meant to cut through wood. Think about a piece of wood. Okay, now imagine taking that same wood blade and cutting through concrete. That is what's happening to our equipment. It costs us more, and we have to be more careful. Because if I'm taking a wood saw blade and I'm cutting through concrete, guess what? It's more likely to cause problems. Also, it's painful. It's like, basically that hair is tightening up around it. So as we're shaving it off, a lot of times it could actually cut off some of the circulation. And then when we cut off the hair, all that blood rushes back and it can cause hematomas, it can cause bruising, it can cause a lot of itchiness. For those of you guys that have ever worn a cast, when you take a mat off, it's like taking a cast off. It is itchy, it is uncomfortable. It is not what we want to be doing. We have found maggots, we have found open sores and wounds. We don't want to shave your matted dog. What we really want you to do is come in about every month. If you really want to push it, 6 or 8 weeks. Ideally every month. 4 weeks is 3,000 miles to a mechanic. We'd like to see you every month. We'd like to take care of your pet and make him fluffy and cute. What we can't do is, we can't do things that we can't do. So I don't like that. I don't like that we were a little bit bullied. I don't think that's fair. And I want to share with you guys who haven't seen this video, and I'm going to upload it to the Savvy Groomer page. This is the time that I was bullied by a customer, and it almost made me quit grooming. I remember sobbing uncontrollably. And just to set the tone, this was in the first year. Now remember, I opened up my shop 4 days before my son was born. I opened my grooming salon up. This was the first year that I ever took Christmas Eve day off. Normally I worked on the 24th, but what happened on the 24th is that people were not picking up their pets, and I had missed basically every single Christmas festivity because, my grandparents are older, and by having Christmas Eve, we would have Christmas Eve, we'd have it like midday, so I'd be like, oh, I'll groom Christmas Eve morning, and then, I'll have the rest of the day off. But people would not pick up their pets till 3, 4, 5 o'clock. And by then, all the festivities were already done. We already had lunch and everything like that. So the very first year, I took Christmas Eve off for me and my family. And then I decided to take off till the 2nd of January because honestly, it was so burnt out. I was so tired. and I just wanted a little me time. I just wanted a little peace and quiet. And I'm trying to get the video set up right, so don't mind me. I don't know technology all that well. I'm trying, guys. So I'm just going to play this, and I'm hoping you guys can hear it. And if you have any trouble hearing it, go ahead and let me know, and I will reload it up into the Savvy Groomer YouTube, and then we can do that. I just want to share that really quick. If I can move it over, and I apologize, I can't figure out how to get rid of the desktop.
Good morning, this is Valerie Resendiz, Shelby Resendiz' mom. First of all, I want to thank you very much for soliciting telephone calls to me to have my dog groomed, of which one was the week of Thanksgiving, and we sat down that week at the same time we sat down today. However, you're on vacation. I want to thank you very much for not being there to service my pet. Not only did you not be there, you wasted my time, you ruined my Christmas, because now I'm going to have a dog that looks like shit thanks to you. And I will put it on Facebook, because I am so totally upset right now that I have no words. I have no words. So what I will do is I will spread the good news and the good share of how shitty your services are, because I can't believe you did this to me. So please remove my name from your list of solicitation, because you'll never see me or my animal or any of my family or friends frequenting your place. So I want to thank you, and I hope you have a miserable Christmas and a miserable, shitty New Year, should you care to keep your place open for business. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a wonderful freaking day. End of message. To read.
It still kind of makes me well up a little bit when I hear it. So, you know, basically what happened is she had forgotten her appointment, and she thought it was on the 24th. It wasn't. And so she left this message, and mind you, my son was so little, I think it was like 4. And I had finally taken up our first Christmas. Sorry. And I remember, I'm just feeling in my heart, I feel like this person who they were wrong, and they tried to destroy my business. And that's why I take some of this stuff so personally, because who I am today, these strong, powerful businesswoman that I am today, is not who I was back then. The person I was back then was scared, was living paycheck to paycheck. I was poor. I was just trying to make a living. And what people don't understand is that when you post things that you think are funny, or you think are the groomer's fault, and when they're not the groomer's fault, you threaten a family. You threaten a woman and her family. At that point in my life, I was the only person who paid my bills. And I had a young son. And had that person made it a point to attempt to hurt my business, they could have. Now, if this person had posted on social media something like a bad haircut, which is more viral today than it would have been back then, she could have destroyed my business. There are so many groomers who have their businesses destroyed over a misunderstanding. And I shouldn't have to teach groomers to defend themselves over things like this. Because this customer isn't going to apologize. And I don't think this person has no ill intent. They don't realize they're wrong. But it doesn't matter, does it? And when people post what they think are funny pictures of either something they asked for, like if you ask a groomer When you hand a matted dog to them, you are asking for them to solve the problem. And then if you make fun of them for doing something they don't want to do, we don't want to shave your matted dogs. We don't want to do that. We don't want to shave your matted cats. All my cat clients, guess what? They get done every 4 weeks. You know why? Because I don't want old matted cats that could die on my table, that I could start shaving and their skin falls off. I could start shaving and there's maggots. I don't want those clients. And you know what the worst part is that I have to be careful if I want to be kind. If I want to be kind and I take on a new client who has an elderly matted cat, I have to say to myself, man, if I do this thing which is the best good for this cat, are they going to try and hurt me and come after my business? And again, I understand this was just a joke. I get it. The problem is that when you make an industry your butt of your joke and you don't own the fact that this is your fault, you are highlighting the problems that we have. I have chosen to be one of the defenders for my industry. I am on a crusade to never have people who feel unempowered squashed. We are an industry of women who are constantly told we are unworthy, that we are less than, that we don't deserve anything. I don't accept it. I refuse. And I wish I didn't have to teach people business ideas and models where they have to constantly defend themselves. But I do. Because people are going to make fun and have fun jokes that bring an entire industry to its knees. And I'm not tolerating it. And I know you mean well. And it doesn't matter, does it? Sometimes you can mean something completely unintentionally. And because you do that, you either have to apologize or just change your wording. Literally, if Stu McLaren's had just added, I should have brushed my dog, it would have been a hat tip to an entire industry instead of basically, unintentionally harming those who cannot defend themselves. There are so many groomers right now who are single mothers. So back, that person I was when that voicemail happened, you are not thinking right now, guys, the ones that are doodle owners that are joking about us shaving your dog. Guess what? You didn't realize, when I had that shop, my bills were $2,500 a month just to keep the lights on. And then I had my own house bills. I had, not at that point, but I could have had a mortgage. I could have a family, car payments, whatever it is. And so I can't work. And then when your matted dog comes in, because you haven't come in once a month because you couldn't, and you didn't brush your dog, now the dog's going to take 2 to 3 months of the time. Did they charge you 3 to 4 times the amount of money they should have? Because that's what I teach my clients. I say, hey, if that dog normally takes an hour and because it's matted takes you 2 or 3, if you charge $50 for an hour, now it needs to be $100, $150. Owners don't like that, but guess what? If you want to make us the butt of jokes, then we will have to pull back. And this is, again, talking to my groomers. This is why no good deed goes unpunished. And unfortunately for us, we have to defend ourselves. And a lot of that comes down to having good business savviness, contracts. And, we can talk more about contracts. You need to have enough money in the bank. And, you need to do a lot of things like that. And that's why I teach a Savvy Groomer. I teach you guys, how to get your finances under control. That way, if you're ever in a situation where someone comes after your business, you have money to sustain yourself, because you might lose thousands and thousands of dollars. Do you guys remember the mobile groomer who the client said broke their leg? Yeah, guess what happened? The dog had been hit by a car, but not when it was in the groomer's business, and the grooming business lost over $100,000 worth of money. How about all of the Petco, PetSmart, where dogs are dying because of pre-existing conditions and the groomers are being blamed? You guys don't understand if you're not in the industry. A lot of this stuff is not our fault, and yet we get the blame for it. So when you make a joke about something that's not our fault, you make us crazy, and we don't want to be crazy. We want to be in a partnership with you guys. But how can we be in a partnership with you guys when we are the butts of your jokes? Please treat us with respect. If you want to hire a professional groomer who is a professional, then treat us with respect as a professional. So thank you guys for this impromptu. I got it all off my chest. I have work to do. I love you all. I'm sorry I cried. I don't want to be all pathetic and sad, but my heart breaks for the person I was. And when I see a lot of my coaching clients, or I see a lot of people in my membership or even in my network, and I see them where I was, my heart just breaks because they need protection. And I will be that mama bear. I'm going to be that person. I'm here for the crusade to help our industry rise up, become professional. We will not be the butt of people's jokes. I don't accept it. It's unacceptable. All right, guys. I love you. Happy grooming, y'all.